What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, my name is AkeemHaynes. I'm a two-time Olympic bronze medalist, author, motivational speaker, and sports commentator. On my channel, we talk boxing, MMA, track and field, and of course, motivation and encouraging content. If this is something that you enjoy, then I hope that you subscribe to the channel. Now, let's get into the video. Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pierra. Let's recap the history of these two men real quick, real briefly, right? They both have a history of fighting each other back when they used to be kickboxers mainly. You can go back and watch both fights. I think they're both on there in its entirety, if I remember correctly. But to keep it short, Pierra won both fights. The first time was by decision in 2016, a unanimous decision. And then the following year, when they fought the second time, Pierra stopped him with the left hook to close out the show the second time. So if history of these two men, it is 2-0 Alex Pierra. But this is a different time. Izzy isn't the same fighter. He's grown in so many forms. Pierra is not the same guy either. So how does this third time play out at this stage in their career? Let's get into it. Let's start with Israel Adesanya, the last style bender. Izzy is coming into this one with a record of 23 wins, 1 loss, 15 wins by way of knockout. But in his division, the middleweight division, he has not lost a fight. The fight that he did lose came from when he fought Jan Blachowicz, who was in a bigger division. So he went up another weight class to try and to attempt to get another belt. But in his rightful division, he is undefeated since his time in the UFC. Not only have we been able to see the improvements in him inside of the ring, but also the confidence that comes outside of the ring. But inside the ring, he's so skilled, right? In his last fight against Jared Cannonier, I remember watching some of the post-fight interviews and hearing some other people's thoughts on the fight, and they were saying, man, this is a boring fight. Izzy is a boring fighter. And I was thinking to myself, you know, while everybody can state their opinion, I think we're missing the point here. Izzy makes it look so easy that it can seem like it's boring. He's an elite striker in the octagon. He's sharp, he's quick, he's accurate. He uses his jab to find his openings and push his opponents back. When you look at Izzy, he's a pretty big dude. He's 6'4" with a long reach. Not just in his arms, but also in his legs. He can find you in 2 forms in 2 different ways without getting himself in trouble. He can pick you apart from a distance, as we have seen in previous fights before. But one thing about Izzy is he's always moving in the octagon, never standing right in front of your face. He is going to use these angles and his footwork to give you different looks, right? To make sure that you're the one that's always on your toes. With his experience in kickboxing, he can use his legs to pick you apart all night. And if you are watching the leg, he's going to use that reach and give you that straight hand jab or that right hook right down the middle. He's a versatile striker, and he's a switch hitter from different stances. Whether it's orthodox or southpaw, he can give you 2 different looks. His versatility in his attacks is very, very dangerous for any opponent that he's fighting. And he's a thinker in the octagon. You can't just come in wild against Izzy and think that you're just going to overpower him and get the advantage that way. Because if you come in like that, he is so quick with his hands that he's going to counter you. Going to counter you with an uppercut, counter you with the right hook, counter you with the left hand. He can do both. He's ambidextrous. The hand speed and the power is in both hands. I've heard it, and I'm sure you have heard it too. We've heard many times where people say the best way to beat Israel Adesanya is to take him down. And it makes sense because his grappling and wrestling are not where he feels comfortable. Those aren't his strengths. But getting him there is not as easy as people think. He's stronger than people think. He's bigger than he looks. Jan was able to do that in their fight, but Jan was the naturally bigger guy. But even there were some times where Jan had a tough time taking him down, right? Izzy's takedown defense is pretty solid as well. Now, what makes it interesting is Pierra isn't a grappler either. So I'll be surprised if we see much groundwork or takedown attempts in this fight. Izzy is also so elusive on his defense. The subtle movements where he's moving his head, leaning his neck back at the right time, and he's just pulling his head back, and then he shoots one of the hands to catch you on your way in as he is on his way out. This man is straight athletic, right? He has that athleticism on his side, and it helps him inside the octagon. All the physical attributes he has, all of the skills from a striking standpoint he has, all the punches he has. When he fought Kevin Gastelum, Gastelum made him dig deep, but he also made Adesanya uncomfortable. That was the fight where Izzy says, I am ready to die in this fight, right? He had to dig deep because Kevin Gastelum really made him fight and really made him uncomfortable in that fight. Gastelum used different ways to find his attacks, right? He punched in flurries and not just one-offs. Pierra is a better striker than Gastelum, but can he replicate some of those same moments and make Izzy uncomfortable? So let's talk about his opponent, Alex Pierra. He's coming into this one with a record of 6 wins, 1 loss, 5 wins by way of knockout. So he hasn't been fighting in the MMA for long, but they think very highly of him. And if you watch him, you can understand why they think that. He's a physical presence. Physically, him and Izzy look very similar. Pierra's fast, he's strong, he's accurate, he's calm in the ring, very stoic. But perhaps the biggest thing for Alex Pierra is the power in a shot. Now, when you're just looking at him, right, he doesn't come off as this guy who has this one-hit knockout type of power where he can fluster you in one shot and maybe drop you in one shot. That's not the case. He's dropped people on one shot in many different times in his career. And he's also a thinker. He's a guy who's going to wait and wait and wait for the right moment. And when you think you have the advantage, right, you come forward and he drops you. When he fought Sean Strickland, that's exactly what happened. Strickland was using the jab to push him back, but Pierra stayed calm, right, using the jab, using his leg kicks. And it just looked like Sean Strickland got a little bit too comfortable because he probably didn't think that Pierra was going to be as explosive as he was. And Pierra, right at the drop of a second, feinted with the leg kick and came with the left hand that took him out. That was the same shot that Sean Strickland took, that Israel Adesanya took in that second fight that dropped him as well. So he has deceivingly powerful hands and power. When you have power like that, it's dangerous because you have that eraser to help you get out of trouble. You mix that with that calm poise about him, right? And it's very hard to tell and anticipate what he is going to do because he fights so relaxed. You have to watch for his leg kicks as well. Now, in Pierra's previous fights, when he fought Bruno Silva, Bruno landed some very good shots against him, right? He took him down as well. Pierra has a nice chin on him because some of the shots that Bruno Silva landed on him would have taken some other guys out. But you never want to take too many of those shots. And even though Alex Pierra got taken down in that fight, he didn't panic. He stayed to the game plan and he picked himself up and got right back to his strength, and that is the upright fight. So as much as we've seen Izzy get better throughout his time in the MMA, in Alex Pierra's short time in the UFC, he's gotten better as well too. He's gotten better each fight. So who wins? I'm not expecting many takedowns in this fight. This is going to be a striking fight. It's going to be a stand-up fight. Who can outthink the other? Who can be more accurate? Who can be more disciplined? Who can disrupt the other one consistently? Who is going to make the first mistake? I'm expecting a lot of movement from Izzy in this fight. One of them will have to try and push the other back on the back foot and take a risk. Both are very good counterpunchers, so either man can't get too greedy in this fight. I think at the beginning, it's going to be a bit of a chess match. Both of these men trying to feel each other out, trying to see who is responding to what, who is reacting to what. And I think in the third or the fourth round, we're going to start to see some adjustment. In this one, though, I'm taking Izzy. Here's why for me. Izzy has fought the tougher opposition. He's been in that spotlight championship moment more. He's fought more championship rounds, and he's been tested more than Pierra has in the UFC. But Pierra is no doubt a well-rounded striker, and he's a stronger puncher than Israel Adesanya is. But I'm going to go with the experience here, and I'm going with Israel Adesanya to win this one by decision. As long as Izzy doesn't get in too emotionally attached to this fight, and tries to force the fight, I think he wins by decision. But a highly anticipated fight, I am no way counting out Alex Pierra. On any given moment, he lands one shot and it could be a wrap. But the question is, can he land it? And I don't think Izzy is going to give him that opportunity to do so. What are your thoughts on this fight? Who do you have winning this fight? Let me know in the comment section below. If you would like to support the channel, there's a couple ways that you can do so. You can like, comment, share. and subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to support by way of donation, you can find options in the description below. Also, my Cash App handle will be on screen as well. Any amount goes towards the growth of this channel and will be greatly, greatly appreciated. Also, want to give a shout out to everybody that took the time to tune in with me on the live on Saturday. I appreciate each of you that took the time to tune in. If you'd like to follow me on social media, you can find my social media handles on screen as well. So with all that being said, if you've been watching the video this time, then do me a favor and subscribe to the channel, and we'll definitely see you next time.